Welcome everybody to the first. Check. Welcome everybody to the first USA Boxing National Tournament of 2026, the International Open here in Pueblo, Colorado. Thank you everybody who is registered for the event for a smooth check-in and a great welcome reception and camaraderie watching the Super Bowl. And now we are headed into the technical meeting, the rules meeting, and which will be followed by the tournament draw. This is the opportunity for all participants to ask questions about the rules that will be handled at this tournament. Remember that all USA Boxing National events will follow the current USA Boxing National Rulebook to be found at usaboxing.org. And then any tournament-specific rules will follow the fact sheet. And then there will be another level of any rules that will be handled here during this meeting. So this is your opportunity to ask anything specific about the tournament, anything that you have question-wise, equipment, procedure, etc. So we will also go over a few logistics and procedures for the week. So before into any logistics, I'm going to hand the meeting over to the tournament supervisor leading all the technical officials, Angel Villarreal.
Okay, let's start with the weighing process. The weighing location, the daily weighing will take place in this exhibit hall here, all the way through the week. Trial scales will be in the Bernstein room, which is halfway between the hotel and the exhibit hall. The scales will be set and calibrated each day. To start, there will be no weight allowance at the scale. You must be on weight if you're involved in a tournament bout. We will keep beating this up, and it's mandatory that you get on the trial scale prior to officially weighing in on the official scale. We will have the trial scales available from 5 a.m. on competition days until the last bout of the night. It is mandatory for each boxer to confirm their weight on the trial scale prior to weighing in on the official scale. Weigh-ins will start at 6 a.m. and they will end at 7 a.m. Okay, so because it's the weigh-ins are not, we don't have 400 boxers at the weigh-in. The weigh-ins should be done by 7 o'clock each day. So please be here before 6 a.m. so you can check your weight. You can be in the exhibit hall by 6 to weigh in, and you won't be detained any later than 7 a.m. So please be there. Please be there on time. It'll give your boxer every opportunity to succeed. If you're making weight, let us know that you're in the process of making weight, but that time will not be extended more than 7 a.m. The deadline to show at the scale medical check will be determined as such each session. We will have 1 hour to weigh in or until the last boxer is weighed in. But per our rule book, we will wait till 7, even if we're done early with the last boxer. If you get there late, and there will be no scale and no officials for you to weigh in. So keep that in mind. Weigh in 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Very important. The weight masters for the men will be Alex Leon And for the women will be Kathy Rivera, 2 experienced weigh masters. And remember, boxers only need to weigh in the day that they box. If they don't box that day, they don't need to come to the venue to weigh in. Also, have your boxers prepared to get on the scale. Remove all jewelry prior to coming to the weigh-in. I also tell them, don't bring anything you don't want to lose to the weigh-in, okay? Facial hair is allowed for weigh-ins and bouts. Beards must be no longer than the collarbone and trimmed. First time you get on the scale, we will observe the maximum and minimum weight. After that, just the maximum weight will be observed. Also keep in mind and remember, the scales in your rooms are not official scales and could be different than the official scale. That is why the pre-check and the trial scales is very important, but also mandatory. So don't go by the scales in your hotel rooms. Our scales are calibrated daily and will be the same weight unless otherwise noted. Trial scales will be open from 5 a.m. on all boxing days, and today itself, there's no boxing, but they'll be open until 5 p.m., again in the Bernstein's room. Equipment that will be used for this event. Sting gloves and headgears will be issued at the glove table. If you use one of the headgears, you will need to leave a personal ID, which will be returned to you once you return the headgear to the field of play, from the field of play. Boxing gloves will be either 10 or 12 ounce according to your weight category. Zen Powers will be placing sensors in your boxing gloves, and they'll do that over here at ringside, next to prior to them entering the ring. So just you're aware of that. They're taped. You can't see them. They have no influence on punching power or hinder the boxer in any way, shape, or form. Uniforms for boxers. For the intermediates, we strongly encourage that they wear red and blue according to the respective corner. JOs, youth, and elite must wear red and blue according to their respective corner. Headgears for the JO, youth, and elite will be open-face headgears and red or blue according to their corner. Intermediate are not required to wear the open face also, but we strongly encourage they use red and blue according to their respective corner. All the equipment that is used must be on the USA Boxing approved brands list for competition. Mouthpieces can be of any color. Hand wraps. Hand wraps can either be of tape and gauze or Velpo, which is a training hand wrap, similar to a training hand wrap with some elasticity. They're more have a component of elasticity in them. These are training. They can be applied. You can only apply a strip of tape around the wrist on the training wrap. If you're using tape and gauze, you can apply the gauze, but you cannot apply any tape underneath the gauze. It all has to be on the surface. Also, no tape can be applied to any part of the uniform. We will also have live scoring monitors that will be placed on the floor by the red and blue corners, which means you'll be able to see the scores after the first and second round, and the third round only after the decision has been announced. The results will also be posted on the USA Boxing website after the final session of the day. You will be able to review your scorecards at that time. The session start time will be at 12 o'clock every day, 12 noon. A good rule of thumb is to be here at least 5 bouts to calmly prepare and go over your plan and warm up with your boxers before you box. Coach's warm-up area will be open at 11:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Daily in the ballroom. Walkovers or RSCs could move your bout up quickly. Stay attentive to your bout's number and ring. We will have 2 rings for this event, ring 1 and ring 2. Bring your boxers to the weigh-in on time to check their weight at the trial scales prior to getting on the official scale in the event. They have to make weight adjustments. Give them every opportunity again to compete and be rested, well rested when the bout comes. But remember again, and we keep beating this up, it's mandatory that you get on the trial scale prior to coming to the official scale. For each bout, 3 coaches are allowed in the corner. 2 can mount the apron, and only 1 can enter the ring. If you have a boxer helping, also an athlete, they must remain in the down position. You must also be registered for this event to work your boxer's corner. Wristbands, credentials prior to starting the bout will be checked by the referee in each bout. No wristband, no credential, you will not be allowed in the corner. So make sure that you take care of this before your boxers get in the ring. You must also bring a clear bottle of water to the corner. No other color is acceptable. And a towel also to clean up the ring once water is spilled in your corner or anything else and things of that nature. After the bout, please clear the field of play. It's important we keep the flow of the bouts to be fair to the upcoming bout. Pictures can be taken once out of the field of play, once you're able to use your electronic devices again. Coaches, please, no recording or electronic devices are allowed in the corners, to include eyewear and the Meta glasses that are now being used or trying to be used by coaches. No recording device. That includes the recording eyewear. There would be some close decisions with great talent here. So please respect the decisions of the referee and judges. Never talk or approach to an official in the field of play when entering or when exiting the field of play. We have a 0 tolerance for foul language or unruliness in the corner. Make sure to clean up after yourself, hand wraps, water bottles, trash, anything that you dispose that you're not using in that corner after the bout. Make sure you take with you and tidy up that corner on the way out. Also, carry yourself in a professional manner at all times. We are all ambassadors of our sport and role models for our athletes. Let's always be conscious of our actions. No unsportsmanship gestures towards the opposing coaches or boxers to the other boxer across the ring. Be respectful of each other. Review the rules also for the coach's space. Utilize it after your boxer is out of the tournament. The coaches are in control of the sparring ring, but we will have officials there to coordinate the ring as much as possible. Keep in mind that any time throughout this event that your credentials can be removed at any time for any infraction inside the field of play, which would take you away from coaching any of the boxers that you have in the tournament. So keep that in mind. There will be 0 tolerance for any unprofessional conduct in the field of play or any infractions of the rules. You can also be removed from the venue if it progresses after that. So with that, I'll send your questions to Mike. We'll filter them. But I wish all of you good luck and, most important, safe boxing. Remember, safety is our main priority. Thank you very much.
Once again, like Angel said, my number is on the screen. If you have any questions, you may text them to us now. Let's take advantage of this opportunity, having Angel here before he rejoins the officials for their technical seminar, so we can get any specific questions answered. After this meeting, I can't answer technical questions. They have to be answered by the technical supervisor. So right now is your time to get any questions answered. You could also reply via email to the email I just sent. Vitali? Yep. Zempower question. Eason? The question about the sensors, will we be publishing data from each match on the result page? Okay. So what we started doing in the last tournament, and we'll continue doing this tournament, is on the event page that has the event schedule for the bouts. After the bout is complete, there will be a link there for AI data. You'll click on that, and it will show you some limited statistics from the match that were collected from the sensors. But this is still being, like Angel said, the sensors are being used as a development tool, as R&D. It's not factoring into the decisions or any sort of protest or anything like that. If you do have a close bout and that you want to discuss with us, we could show you the AI data as well, but it doesn't factor into any kind of protest or bout decision reversal.
Not yet.
Not yet, or in the future as we develop. Yes?
You did mention about the way it's listed for the colors, headgear, and then blue and red uniform.
For junior, youth, a junior, youth, and elite must wear red uniform and blue uniform.
I got it. What about headgear?
Headgear,
Same.
same thing. Red corner, red headgear, blue corner, blue headgear.
It cannot be like black.
No, no. Unless intermediate are allowed to use a different color, but we strongly encourage they use red and blue because that helps us.
I get it. I read a little bit.
Yep. So the question is about red and blue uniforms and headgear. We do wear red and blue according to corner assignment, and headgear will be available at the glove table if you don't have your own.
Yeah, I was going to say he can acquire it from us.
Yes. And as well, Impact will be selling Sting headgears as well if you want to purchase your own. The intermediate and younger divisions, we are a little bit more relaxed, but like Angel said, it's strongly encouraged that they still wear red and blue because that's putting your boxer in the best position to get the correct result.
Thank you.
Yep. Question? Can you use us? Yeah. Only transparent or clear water bottles are allowed in the corner. So that way we can see through it and verify that only water is the current rule. Only water is allowed to be used. Yep. So in every corner, there's a monitor on the floor that will display the scores in between rounds. So it's very important, coaches, that you coordinate with your assistant who is on the floor to communicate those scores up to you when you're in the corner. We strongly recommend that you acquire a second person to help you with this, so that way you can utilize the full rest period for instruction for your boxer. And please come up with a system between you and your assistant to be discreet. We don't want shouting it. We don't want it to influence the judges who are concentrating during the rest period to block out those kinds of things. The scores will also be shown on these monitors to the audience as well as on the live stream. Looking for any questions that have been sent in before I start to review. Oh, we do have a few. Here's a good one, Angel. Do coaches have to be wearing any particular uniform to match their prospective corners?
No, that is not a requirement. But when you talk about what they wear, just make sure that it's nothing offensive, no political statements, nothing that has to do with anything that's illegal. But again, everything in good taste, as long as it's not, there's nothing on your uniform that's offensive, political statements, things of that nature.
Another question about wearing a white tank top under their red or blue uniform.
For the male boxers, no, they just wear their jersey. Females are allowed to wear a a tank top or a jersey under their uniform.
Like Angel said, all members who participate in this event must be credentialed and must be registered and current with USA Boxing in order to register for the tournament. Without a current membership, you cannot get access to the field of play or any of the auxiliary areas such as the coach's space. So all members must be registered and in good standing before they come to the tournament. Otherwise, we have to wait for a background screen to clear before we can issue a credential. This one's for me. Question about the seedings. So this week in your email, you should have received a roster with the seedings. This event has international boxers in it, which makes it a little more complicated to do the seedings. This tournament, we based seedings on number of wins overall for each boxer. For females, we had a minimum requirement of 15 wins to be seeded, and for males, it was 25 wins to be seeded. And typically, we only seed the top 8 boxers or top 4, depending on the number of boxers in that bracket. So we try to use those rules, but we also factor in some prudence, and we want the seedings to be fair. And the purpose of the seeds are to separate the bracket so that way the best boxers meet in the finals and they don't box early on. All right, that concludes the questions I've received so far. Again, you can text me or email any questions. I want to note, everybody, on the back of your credential, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you to the event page. This is the page that you want to share with everybody at home. This is on the usaboxing.org page, specific for this tournament. On this page, you can find a link at the top for nearby boxing clubs that have offered their space for you to work out. We also have in Ballroom C, a sparring ring and heavy bag rack, which you can work out. You can utilize to work out, or also utilize that space to warm up, to wrap your boxer's hands and prepare for your match before you can come into the play. Question about mouth guards. Are clear mouth guards allowed?
Yes, any color, any shape, any form, it's not a problem.
I think you answered this, but they want clarification. Can you use hand wraps, training wraps, to wrap your hands instead of gauze?
Yes, you can use the Valpo training hand wrap. The thing is with that, you can only use one strip of tape around the wrist, and that's for the glove table to put a signature on.
All right, and keep those questions coming, and we'll keep answering them as we continue the technical meeting. Back to the scanning of your QR code and the event page. On this page, you will find a link to local clubs, also to the bout schedule, the sheets, the bout brackets, the tournament brackets. And on the tournament bracket page, you will find a link for this tournament that says schedule in brackets. So as we draw the brackets today, once we finalize the tournament draw, it will populate the schedule. But on the brackets themselves, they will say when and where each bout is taking place. So you can utilize that to prepare for your match and know which day you're going to be competing. In the brackets, the top part of the bracket is red corner, the bottom part of the bracket is blue corner. Also on this event page is where you will find the Watch Live link, the fact sheet, and links to our sponsors and our partners that are selling out in the lobby. The live link is where you will find the live stream, and this is the link that you want to share with everyone at home. No more questions. Please keep texting any questions that you have. I want to go over a little bit logistics of the tournament. At the weigh-in, it's very important, as Angel said, that every boxer crosses the trial scale before they come to the official weigh-in. Do not be late. The weigh-in will begin before 6 a.m. and it will conclude at 7. If you are running late, your boxer will lose by disqualification. When you cross the trial scale, the building will open and the trial scales will be open at 5 a.m. At 6 a.m., we will have boxers lined up just outside of the expo hall in a single file line. Please, coaches and boxers, respect first come, first serve. Do not cut in line. Coaches, please monitor this. Every tournament on the feedback survey, we get complaints that boxers cut in line. Boxers will get there early because they know the process, and they will line up at the front of the line. That should be respected. Boxers will be brought in the order in which they're lined up into the venue here, retrieve their pass books, cross the scales, get their medicals. As they leave the room, every boxer who has made weight will be issued session passes. Coaches, it's very important as your boxers exit the weigh-in, as they return back from the weigh-in, that they have their session pass. The session pass will get you, the boxer, and the coaches back into the gloving area for the event, for the venue, in the venue for the session. It's mandatory that you have your session passes. The session pass entrance will be at the end of the expo hall. They will enter there into the gloving area. Coaches, when you bring your boxers to the session pass, they should be ready to glove up. They should have their uniform and their hand wraps ready to go. Go straight to the gloving table where you'll be issued your gloves and or headgear if you need it. And your hand wraps will be inspected and signed. There will be on deck at each ring for the next bout. So one bout in the ring, one on deck, and approximately 3 or 4 will be in the warm-up area. So please pay attention to the monitors, pay attention to the live stream, and know when your bout is coming up. Every session will begin at noon, Tuesday through Saturday. There will be approximately 23 to 26 bouts each day. So it will run from noon till 5 o'clock every day. There is room on the schedule for matched bouts. Any matched bouts that you agree to, matched bout is a coach's agreement. 2 coaches will discuss, make the match, agree upon the day the match will occur, the weight you're expecting both boxers to be, and you'll report that to myself. We will give it to the administrators who will add it to the bout sheet. Match bouts will occur at the end of each day's schedule. Match bouts will follow Appendix F of the USA Boxing Rulebook, and they'll be noted on the bout sheet so that way the weighmaster knows it's a matched bout. Appendix F defines matchmaking criteria at a local level. Match bouts will find this. So therefore, match bouts can be outside of your age group or outside of your weight division as long as they're within the specifications of Appendix F. Please, coaches, earlier this week, we did send out the roster with contact info for the coaches. Please communicate with each other, connect in the venue, make match bouts, and send them to us. We welcome additional bouts to the schedule. There are. So this is the International Open. We did end up with approximately 20 international boxers to register. The majority of these boxers are USA Boxing members who live and train in the United States but have citizenship for another country and are therefore eligible for a different federation. They were welcome. There's a couple of boxers that are members of other federations, but as far as we've checked, there are no boxers with any professional experience in this tournament. Matched bouts, session pass. Remember that it's one-way traffic. So once you glove up and go to your on deck, your bout completes, you will continue in a one-way direction to exit the field of play, out of the expo hall, back into the hallway, And if you have another bout, then you have another session pass, circle back around and come back to the gloving area. Conflicts on the brackets and in the bout schedule will be observed according to two boxers having the same coach or club on their registration profile. These will be flagged automatically by the Zempower system. So don't come to us and ask for a conflict, to resolve a conflict, because you have two bouts at the same time. They don't have the same coach listed or the same club listed. We only observe conflicts for the same club or the same head coach listed on the profile. As well, bracket conflicts will follow these as well. And the reason we say this is because we're trying to automate this as much as possible through the Zempower system. Oh, flow. I think we've covered all of our topics. Any other questions, please? Oh, good question. We are welcoming any match outs of registered members. So if you do have boxers that have registered for sparring only option, we could entertain match bouts for them. Obviously, the event is a little smaller. The pool is small. Test. If you do find a match bout between two boxers that have registered for sparring, we will welcome that. Thank you. We did receive that match bout. Female officials, if you're listening, we have a match bout for Tuesday. Angel, question about any shaving requirements for the boxers? Are mustaches and goatees acceptable?
No, there is no restriction on basically any facial hair, except remember, if you have a beard, it can't extend past your collarbone, which is right here. So just keep that in mind. But there's no restriction on if you haven't shaved, you have a mustache or a goatee, that's not an issue. Facial hair is allowed.
All right, so any remaining questions? This is your last opportunity. We're going to wrap up the technical meeting and then pause, reset our table here, and be back on the live stream close to 1 o'clock for the tournament draw. Going once, hearing no more questions. Any questions in the audience? All right, thank you everyone so much. Looking forward to a great tournament, and see you all at the weigh-in tomorrow morning. Thank you.
our draw. The draw will be done by Zempower. My name is Juan Varela, your announcer for the show. So we're going to be starting with the female draw first, and then we will go to the male draw. Elite, youth, junior, and then intermediate. So we got the elite female 101-pound division, Alyssa San Agustin and Lauren Flynn. Please draw it. The bout is going to take place on February 14th. In the red corner, Lauren Flynn. In the blue corner, Alyssa San Agustin. Again, boxers only weigh in on the day you do have a match. Please make sure only weigh in on the day that you do have a match. For any late arrivals, please bring your passbook to the table right here to my right. For any late arrival boxers or coaches, please bring your passbook to the table to my right up here. For the next draw, this is going to be in the elite female 106-pound division. We got Malia Paculan and Victoria Mandujano. Please do the draw. This bout as well is going to be taking place on the 14th of February. In the red corner, we're going to have Victoria Mandujano, and in the blue corner, Malia Paculan. For the next draw, this is the elite female 119-pound division. The first seed is Shalyn Patricio. The second seed is Mandy Hernandez. Also in the bracket is Nanten Chenzeng Mamanduran from Mongolia, and then also Trinity Prospers. These are the seeds, and now we are going to do the draw. So the first match is going to be on the 13th of February. In the red corner is Shalyn Patricio. In the blue corner is Trinity Prospers. On the same day, February 13th, in the red corner, we do have, sorry, your first name's cut off, but again, in the red corner, we have Nandestin versus, in the blue corner, Mandy Hernandez. Again, boxers, please be advised this weigh in on the day that you are competing. The other days, you do not have to come in and weigh in. All right, the next draw is going to be the elite female 165-pound division. The first seed is Christine Forkins. The other athlete competing is Ruby Martinez. Now we will have the draw. This bout is going to take place on the 14th of February. In the red corner, Christine Forkins. In the blue corner, Ruby Martinez. Again, that was the elite female 165-pound division. Again, any late arrival boxers, please make sure to bring up your pass books, either coach or boxer. We do have an area here that you can present it to. Again, you do have to have your pass book in order to compete. The next draw is going to be in the youth female 106-pound division. The number 2 seed is Aram Ornales, and the other seed is Isel Soloranzano. We're doing the draw now. This bout as well is going to take place on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. In the red corner is Isel Sorzano, and in the blue corner is Aram Ornelas. Again, that's the youth female 106-pound division. I do want to make a quick announcement as well for any coaches that are here from other countries. We would love to announce your boxer the best we can. So I'm here at the table for a couple hours. If you'd like to come here and let me know how your boxer should be announced, I would love to announce your name the way you guys announce it. The next draw is going to be the youth female 125-pound division. The first seed is Brianna Epperson, and the second seed is Patience Billingsley. This time we'll have the draw. And I'm sorry, there was another person as well in the draw, Alicia Garcia. So the first bout is going to be on the 13th of February. This is going to be in the red corner, Alicia Garcia. And in the blue corner, it's going to be Patience Billingsley. That match will take place on the 13th. And then the championship bout, the winner of that match will box Brianna Epperson for the finals on the 14th of February. The next draw is a junior female 90-pound division. The number 1 seed, Margarita Sierra, will be competing. The other athlete in that division is Lolena Kalapua. At this time, we'll have the draw. This bout as well is going to be taking place on Valentine's Day. In the red corner, Margarita Sierra, and in the blue corner, Lolena Kalapua. That's going to take place on the 14th of February. The next draw is the junior female 106-pound division. The first athlete is Iselin Shirley. The second athlete is Yoletzi Valdez Ariola. At this time, we'll have the draw. This championship bout is also going to be taking place on the 14th of February. In the red corner, Iselin Shirley, and in the blue corner will be Yarisli. Sorry, the rest of the name is cut off on my screen. Valdez Ariola. The next draw is a junior female 106-pound division. The first athlete. Sorry. Again, boxers, just a friendly reminder, you only have to weigh in on the day you compete. The next draw is a junior female 119-pound division. The athletes are Cheselyn Gonsalves, Rain Utomo Lorazana Vea, and Jocelyn Bravo. At this time, we'll have the draw. The first bout is going to be taking place on the 13th of February. In the red corner, we have Jocelyn Bravo. In the blue corner, we have Rajneen Umtoma. I'm sorry, the rest of your name is cut off on my screen. That's on the 13th. Then the championship bout will be on the 14th, and that will be against Cheselyn Gonsalves. The next draw is going to be the junior female 138-pound division. The athletes competing are Talia Rodriguez, Harmony Barber, and Madison Yornjak. At this time, we'll have the draw. The first bout is going to be taking place on the 13th of February. In the red corner, Madison Hornhawk, and in the blue corner, Harmony Barber. They will compete on the 13th, and the winner will compete against Talia Rodriguez on the 14th of February on Championship Day. The next draw will be in the intermediate female 95-pound division. The two athletes completing are Angeles Ibarra and Leila Nuanez. At this time, we'll have the draw. This bout as well is going to take place on the 14th of February. In the red corner, Angeles Ibarra. In the blue corner, Leila Nuanez. That was the intermediate female 95-pound division. The next bracket is the intermediate female 101-pound division. The two athletes are Zelia Swaza and Gabriela Leiva. At this time, we'll have the draw. This bout is going to be taking place on Championship Day on the 14th. In the red corner, we have Zelia Sueza, and in the blue corner, Gabriela Leiva. Again, that was the intermediate female 101-pound division. That contest will be on Championship Day on the 14th. The next draw is going to be the elite male 110-pound division. The athletes we have competing in the first seed, Edgar Herrera. Second seed, Jorge Lievana Galvan. The third seed, Cameron Bales. And then the fourth additional athlete is Jonathan Moran. At this time, we'll have the draw. Again, this is elite male 110-pound division. The first two bouts are going to be competed on the 13th. In the red corner is Cameron Baylies. In the blue corner is Jorge Leviana Galvan. The other bout is also going to be competed on the same day. That is going to be in the red corner, Edgar Herrera. In the blue corner, Jonathan Moran. Championship bout will be taking place on the 14th. Again, just friendly reminder, boxers, you only have to weigh in the day you are boxing. This next draw is going to be the elite male 121-pound division. The athletes competing are Francis Stewart, Orlando Zamora, Alex Espinosa, Juan Galvan, Jesse Torres, Damian Lora, Amar Shabini, Emmanuel Cabini, Jonathan Torres, and Matthew Esquivel. At this time, we'll have the draw. So after the draw, so the first seed, the Stewart does have a bye. He's not going to compete till the 11th. The first bout will be Jonathan Torres and Matthew Esquivel. They're going to be boxing on the 10th of February. Jesse Torres, the fifth seed, is going to have a bye, and he doesn't have to box until the 11th. As well as the fourth seed, Juan Galvan, has a bye as well. He doesn't box until the 11th. On the other side of the bracket, number 3 seed, Alex Espinosa, does have a bye. And then also Damian Lora, the number 6 seed, does have a bye. Emmanuel Cabini and Amar Shabini, they do have a match that's going to be on the 10th of February. And then the number 2 seed, Orlando Zamora, does have a bye as well. He will box on the 11th. All right, the next division is the elite male 132-pound division. The number 1 seed is Jonathan Ruvalcalba. The number 2 seed is Chad Pitts. The number 3 seed is Angel Sanchez Estrada. The number 4 seed is Joseph Molinito. Number 5 is Jermaine Carrillo. The number 6 seed is David Arroyo. And the number 7 seed is Gavin Richard. The additional athletes in this division are Adan Gabriel Vanegas, Cesar Gastulam, Francisco de la Cruz, Timon McCall Daniels, Alex Villalon Gaspar, Darrow Britton III, Joshua Gutierrez, Cesar Canuati Jr., Ethan Gonzalez, and Trayvon Boyd. At this time, we'll have the draw. So the first seed, Jonathan, does have a bye. On the 10th, we do have a bout between Trevon Boyd in the red corner and Cesar in the blue corner. Darrow Broughton the second has a bye. He doesn't box until the 11th of February, as well as Alex V has a bye. He doesn't box until the 11th of February. Number 5 seed Jermaine C has a bye, and he doesn't box until the 11th of February. Ethan Gonzalez as well has a bye the first night. He's not going to box till the 11th of February. Cesar Gastelum and number 4 seed Joseph M also have a bye. They don't box until the 11th of February. On the other side of the bracket, number 3 seed Angel S has a bye, as well as Francisco D has a bye. They don't box till the 11th. Adrian G has a bye. And then there is, David Arroyo as well has a bye. They don't box until the 11th. Gavin Richard and Joshua Gutierrez, they as well have a bye. They will box on the 11th. And then lastly, Tamon M and Chad Pitts, they have a bye the first night, and they will box each other on the 11th of February. The next draw is going to be between the elite male 143-pound division. The first seeded athlete is Dustin Jimenez. Second is Messiah Nemo. There's not a third. The fourth is Miles Huynh. The fifth is Samuel Hale. The sixth is Demario Smith Jr. The seventh is Daniel Lopez. And the additional athletes in this bracket is Brandon Etheridge and Caleb Medina. At this time, we'll have the draw.
We have to reseed that. Just make sure the three seed dropped out. And then the 4 has to move up from the 3 because it's going to affect the bracket placement.
So sorry, we do have to redraw this bracket to correct the seating. There's a technical error. There wasn't a 3 listed there, so we have to just reseed really quick. Again, friendly reminder, coaches and boxers, for late arrivals, we are accepting pass books at the table right here to my right. So if you're here live and you have your pass book, please bring it. No pass book, no belt. Also, coaches that are coming internationally, we would love to pronounce your name the way you like it to be pronounced. So if you're here, I'll be here for another 2 hours. So come on in. I can record you saying your boxer's name, and that way we could do the best we can to pronounce the name correctly. All right, so the reseating was done correctly. We're going to have the draw. Again, this is the elite male 143-pound division. So there's 8 boxers in this bracket. There are no buys. Number 1 seed Dustin Jimenez will box against Caleb Medina. Number 5 seed Demario Smith Jr. will box against number 4 seed Samuel Hale. Number 3 seed Miles Wynn will box against Daniel Lopez, number 6 seed. And the last bout in that bracket is Brandon Etheridge will box against number 2 seed Messiah Nemo. All those bouts I just named right now will begin on Tuesday. They'll be taking place on Tuesday. Sorry, correction. That's going to be Wednesday. Those bouts will be taking place on Wednesday. That Wednesday is going to be the 11th. That's when the bouts will begin. Again, that's elite male, 143-pound. I'm sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. That's why it's taking a little while. All right, the next draw is going to be the elite male 154-pound division. Number 1 seed Vitaly Konstantinova. Number 2 seed Gerard Thompson. Number 3 seed Cantrell Rozier. Number 4 seed Evan Jackson. We do have 8 other athletes. Their names are Alexander Purnell, Ali Maysam Alizada, Cameron Rich, Nana Kwame Kankam, Alfredo Lungans, Hassan Rahman, Melvin Smith IV, and Nicholas Canales. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Vitaly does get a bye. On the 10th of February, we have Alfredo Lungas versus Nicholas Canales. Alfredo will be in the red corner, Nicholas in the blue corner. Also on the 10th, in the red corner, Ali Massam Alizada. In the blue corner, Cameron Rich. That bout will be taking place on the 10th of February. For the 10th, Evan Jackson, the number 4th seed, does get a bye. He is not going to compete until the 11th. Number 3 seed, Cantrell Rozier, also gets a bye. He's not going to compete until the 11th. We do have a bout on the 10th versus red corner Alexander Purnell and blue corner Hassan Rahman. Also on the 10th, we have a bout in the red corner, Nana Kwame Kankam versus in the blue corner, Melvin Smith IV. And lastly, number 2 seed, Gerard Thompson gets a bye. He doesn't compete until the 11th. Again, that's elite male 154. The next draw is going to be between the elite male 165-pound division. Number 1 seed, Daniel Mercado. Number 2 seed, Lamar Stewart. Number 3 seed, Jaden Harvey. Number 4 seed, Armand Jackson. Number 5 seed, Carmen Gentili. We do have 8 other athletes competing in this bracket. Alexis Benicio Batrez, Christian Varientes Love, Kanan Sloan, Kervon Taylor, Andres Enriquez, Daniel Hernandez, Kabir Perez, and Quaz Alizada. At this time, we'll have the draw. Okay, number 1 seed, Daniel Mercado, does get a bye. He doesn't box until the 11th. We do have a match between Kavir Perez in the red corner versus Kervon Taylor in the blue corner. That will take place on the 10th of February. Also on the 10th, number 5 seed, Carmen Gentili will be boxing out of the red corner versus in the blue corner, Quaz Alizada. Again, that's going to take place on the 10th. Also on the 10th, we do have in the red corner Alexis V versus number 4 seed Armand Jackson. Again, that's going to take place on the 10th of February. On the other side of the bracket, number 3 seed Jaden Harvey does get a bye. He doesn't compete till the 11th. We do have a bout on the 10th versus in the red corner Andres Enriquez and in the blue corner Kanan Sloan. Also competing on the 10th, in the red corner, Daniel Hernandez versus in the blue corner, Christian B. And then lastly, the number 2 seed, Lamar Stewart, my apologies, does not compete on the 10th. He will be competing on the 11th. He does get a bye for the 10th. The next bracket is the elite male 176-pound division. Number 1 seed Reese Mistrada. The other 4 athletes competing in this bracket are Gabriel Calise, Tanner Andino, Rodney Phoenix Jr., and William Finney. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Reese Mistrada does get a bye, will not compete until the 13th of February. We do have a bout on the 12th of February in the red corner, Tanner Andino. In the blue corner, Rodney Phoenix Jr. William Finney does get a bye and does not compete until the 13th of February. Also getting a bye is Gabriel Calise. He will compete as well on the 13th of February. Again, that was elite male, 176 pounds. The next bracket is the elite male 198-pound division. Number 1 seed Cayman Lopez. The other 3 athletes in this bracket are Austin Hearns, Tricklet Maris, and Isaiah Joseph. At this time, we'll have the bye. I'm sorry, at this time, we'll have the draw. Sorry. So competing on the 13th, number 1 seed Cayman Lopez in the red corner versus in the blue corner Tricklet Maris. Again, that's on the 13th. The other bout will be as well on the 13th in the red corner, Austin Hearns. In the blue corner, Isaiah Joseph. Next, we have the elite male 198-plus pound division. The athletes competing in this bracket are Christian Courtney, Kayan Gabriel, Corey Johnson, and Tristan Mavrov. At this time, we'll have the draw. First bout taking place on the 13th of February in the red corner, Kayan Gabriel. In the blue corner, Christian Mavrov. Also taking place on the 13th in the red corner, Christian Cordy versus in the blue corner, Corey Johnson. Again, boxers and coaches, friendly reminder, you only have to weigh in on the day you are boxing. Next bracket is the youth male 110-pound division. The first seed is Paul Lloyd. Second seed, Salvador Crespo Zamora. The third seed is Moises Ramirez Jr. The fourth seed is Carlos Alvalos Magdaleno. We do have 2 other athletes competing in this bracket, Jaden McQueen and Joshua Munoz. At this time, we'll have the draw. All right, so number 1 seed Paul Lloyd does get a bye, will not compete until the 13th. We do have a bout in the red corner, Jaden McQueen versus Carlos A., the number 4 seed. That is going to take place on the 11th. So you guys will be competing on the 11th. In the red corner, the number 3 seed Moises Ramirez Jr. will be competing against Joshua Munoz. That's going to be taking place on the 11th. Number 2 seed Salvador C does get a bye. It will not compete until the 13th of February. Next bracket is the youth male 121-pound division. The first seed is Caden Tremble. Second seed, Brandon Noriega. Third seed, Ismael Ramos. Fourth seed, DeRay Dixon. Fifth seed, Kwai McFadden. Sixth seed, Jerice Holland. Seventh seed, Aaron Sines. Eighth seed is Hamza Ben Ha Muhammad. The other athletes competing in this bracket are Damon Lorda, Hazel Lara, Kali Smith, Stefan Kinchlow, Dante Carson, Jacob Olvera, Luis Ornales Brito, Durrell Crenshaw, Jesus Galdones, and Nathan Vasquez. At this time, we'll have the draw. All right, number 1 seed, Caden Trumbull, does get a bye. Boxing on the 10th, in the red corner, Jacob Oliveira versus in the blue corner, Durrell Crenshaw. Kali Smith does get a bye, will not compete until the 11th. As well as number 8 seed, Hamza B gets a bye, will not compete until the 11th. Kwahi McFadden and Damon Lorta as well get a bye. They will compete against each other on the 11th. Luis Ornales Brito and DeRay Dixon, they get a bye. They will not compete until the 11th. On the other side of the bracket, number 3 seed Ismael Ramos gets a bye, will compete on the 11th. Stefan Kinchlow as well gets a bye the first night, will compete on the 11th. Dante Carson and Jerice Holland as well get a bye on the 10th. They're going to compete against each other on the 11th. Aaron Sines and Nathan Vasquez as well get a bye from the 10th. They're going to compete against each other on the 11th. Jesus Galdones and Hasil Lara are going to compete against each other on the 10th. The last bye in that bracket is for number 2 seed, Brandon N. will get a bye, and he will compete on the 11th. Next bracket is going to be the youth male 132-pound division. Number 1 seed, Angel Vargas. Number 2 seed, Carlos Ponce. Number 3 seed, Jaden Navarrete. Number 4 seed, Jose Sanchez Estrada. Number 5 seed is Angel Valderas. Number 6 seed, Landon John Patricio. Number 7 seed, Joseph Kanan. And number 8 seed, Jorge Sanchez Jr. The other athletes competing in this division are Alejandro Miguel Rodriguez, Giovanni Lewis, Miguel Angel Calvo, Zaire Wright, Edgar Gonzalez Jr., Mark Davis III, Ray Jackson, Gary Pearson, Martel Shelton, and Sefwala Sharifi. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Angel Vargas gets a bye. He doesn't have a bout until the 11th. We do have a match between Martel Shelton in the red corner and Ray Jackson in the blue corner. That's going to take place on the 10th. Zaire Wright gets a bye, will not compete until the 11th, as well as Jorge S., number 8 seed. You get a bye, you'll be competing on the 11th. Angel Balderas, the 5th seed. Mark Davis, the 3rd. Also get a bye from the 10th. You guys will compete against each other on the 11th. Gary Pearson and the number 4 seed, Jose S., gets a bye. They will compete against each other on the 11th. The number 3 seed, Jaden N., gets a bye, as well as Sifwala Sharifi. You guys will compete against each other on the 11th. Edgar Gonzalez Jr., Landon John Patricio get a bye. They will compete against each other on the 11th. Also, Youssef Kanan and Giovanni Lewis get a bye the first night. They will compete against each other on the 11th of February. Alejandro V. and Miguel Angel Calvo, they do have a match on the 10th. So you guys are competing on the 10th, the first day of the competition. Carlos Ponce, number 2 seed, you get a bye. You will compete on the 11th. Next division is going to be the youth male 143-pound division. Number 1 seed, Andre McCullum III. Number 2 seed, Zachariah Chapman. Number 3 seed, Makai Moore. Number 4 seed, Oscar Shane Moeller. Number 5 seed, Shem Lugo Flores. The other athletes competing in this division are Carter Tan Tran, Isaiah Rodriguez, Jeremiah Monroe, Luis Massa Bustillos, Nadir Mech Verin, Rocco Davis, Fabian Monsivaz, Israel Mahabir, Jeshua White, Matthew Simpson, and Patrick Germain. At this time, we're going to have the draw. Again, this is a youth male 143-pound division. Number 1 seed, Andre M. does have a bout against Isaiah Rodriguez on the first night, on the 10th. Luis Massa Bustillos has a bout against Fabian Monsivaz on the 10th. Number 5 seed, Shem L. does have a bout on the first night against Jeshua White. Also the first night, Matthew Simpson versus number 4 seed, Oscar S. You guys will be competing on the 10th. As well on the 10th, number 3 seed, Makai Moore will be competing against Patrick Germain. Carter Tan Tran will be competing against Rocco Davis. Nadir Mech Verin will be competing against Jeremiah Monroe. And Israel Mahabir will be competing against the number 2 seed, Zachariah C. Sorry, your last name is cut off on my end. Next bracket, youth male 154-pound division. First seed, Javier Mitchell. Second seed, Joseph Nieto. Third seed, Terry Green III. Fourth seed, Dante Peralta. The other 2 athletes competing in this division are Jadil Arana and Wyatt Kingsley. And we'll have the draw. All right, number 1 seed, Javier Mitchell gets a bye, does not compete until the 13th. Jadiel Arana will be competing against number 4 seed, Dante Peralta. That bout will take place on the 12th. Terry Green III, number 3 seed, will be competing against Wyatt Kingsley. That bout will take place on the 12th. Number 2 seed, Joseph Nieto, does get a bye, does not compete until the 13th. Next bracket is going to be the youth male 165-pound division. Athletes competing in this division are Adre Lushcook, Khalil Gordon, and Joel Vasquez. At this time, we'll have the draw. Getting your bye is Adre Lushcook. We do have a bout between Khalil Gordon in the red corner versus Joel Vasquez in the blue corner. That bout will take place on the 13th. Next bracket is youth male 176-pound division. The athletes competing are Adan Baiza, Mark Jackson Jr., and Cash Sloan. At this time, we'll have the draw. Getting the bye is Cash Sloan. We do have a bout between Mark Jackson Jr. and Adan Baiza. That will take place on the 13th. Next division is going to be the youth male 187-pound division. The athletes competing in this division are Ashton Robinson and Christian Granado. At this time, we have the draw. On the 14th of February, we have a bout between Christian Granado in the red corner. In the blue corner, Ashton Robinson. Again, late arrival coaches and boxers, we are accepting pass books. If you're here in attendance, we have a table right here to my right. If you want to turn in your pass book, friendly reminder, you only have to weigh in on the day you have a match. So if you're not boxing that day, you don't have to weigh in. Next bracket is junior male 95-pound division. Number 1 seed is Julian Salinas. Number 2 seed is Kendrick Smith Jr. The other athletes competing in this division are Damian Villalobos, Justin Sirtaran Rangel, Ethan Knudsen, and Paul Jones. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Julian Salinas, does get a bye, does not compete until the 12th. We do have a bout between Damian Villalobos in the red corner and Paul Jones in the blue corner. That bout is going to take place on the 10th. In the red corner, we do have Justin C. will be boxing against Ethan Knudsen. That bout is going to as well take place on the 10th. Number 2 seed, Kendrick Smith Jr. does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 12th. Next division is the junior male 101-pound division. Number 1 seed is Alon Lewis. The other athletes competing are Chad Armstrong, Jamir Patillo, Ulises Silva Becerra, Gerardo Macias, and Jordan Colon. At this time, we'll have the draw. Again, this is junior male 101-pound division. Number 1 seed, Alon Lewis, does get a bye, does not have to box until the 12th. We do have a bout between Jordan Colon in the red corner versus Gerardo Macias in the blue corner. That bout is going to take place on the 10th. Also on the 10th, in the red corner, Ulises Silva Becerra will be boxing against, in the blue corner, Jamir Patillo. And then Chad Armstrong does get a bye, does not have to box until the 12th. All right, this next bracket is the junior male 106-pound division. Number 1 seed, Leighton James Patricio. Number 2 seed, Aiden Osborne. The other athletes competing are Alexander Page, Hector Delgado, Max Martinez, Dorian Antonio Fereles Garcia, Jesse Valenzuela, and Nathan Sanchez. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Leighton James Patricio, will be boxing against Alexander Page. That bout is going to take place on the 10th. Max Martinez will be boxing against Hector Delgado, also on the 10th. Dorian Antonio F. will be boxing against Jesse Valenzuela. That bout as well is going to be on the 10th. And Nathan Sanchez will be boxing against number 2 seed Aiden Osborne. That bout as well is going to take place on the 10th. Next bracket is a junior male 110-pound division. Number 1 seed is Jaden Prince. Number 2 seed is Xavier Martinez. Number 3 seed is Silas Rollins. Number 4 seed is Teleo Mahilona. The other 3 athletes competing in this bracket are Levoya Riddell Smith Jr., Nasim Young, and Luis Grado Lopez. At this time, we'll have the draw. So number 1 seed, Number 1 seed Jaden Prince does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 12th. Nasim Young will be boxing against number 4 seed Taylor Mahalona. That's on the 10th. Also on the 10th, number 3 seed Silas Rollins will be competing against Lavoya Riddell Smith Jr. Also on the 10th, Luis Grado Lopez will be competing against number 2 seed Xavier Martinez. Next bracket is the junior male 114-pound division. Number 1 seed Santos Alaman III. Number 2 seed Jeron Penrose III. Number 3 seed Axel Reyes. The other athletes competing in this bracket are Amir Miranda, Yosir Lugo Flores, and Demir Flemings. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Santos Alaman III does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 12th. Demir Flemings will be having a bout against Yozir Lugo. Demir Flemings will be having against Yazir Lugo Flores. That bout is going to take place on the 10th. Number 3 seed Axel Reyes has a bout against Amir Miranda. That as well is going to take place on the 10th. Number 2 seed Jerron Penrose III has a bye. Does not have to complete against until the 12th. Again, Jerron Penrose III has a bye. Doesn't compete until the 12th. This is going to be the junior male 119-pound division. Number 1 seed Macklin Whiting. Number 2 seed Jassi Mtumi. Number 3 seed Carlos De Leon. The other athletes in this division are Elijah Diaz and Lexus Maldonado. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Macklin Whiting does get a bye. Will compete on the 13th. We do have a bout between Alexis Maldonado and Elijah Diaz. That's going to take place on the 12th. Number 3 seed Carlos De Leon gets a bye, as well as Jassi Mtumi. They will compete against each other on the 13th. So first round they get a bye, and they will compete against each other on the 13th. Next division is junior male 125-pound division. Number 1 seed Darren Mendoza. Number 2 seed Benjamin Rodriguez. The other athlete in this division is Brandon Cruz Ceballos. At this time, we'll have the draw. Getting the bye is number 1 seed Darren Mendoza. You will compete on Championship Day on the 14th. Brandon Cruz Ceballos will be boxing out of the red corner versus number 2 seed Benjamin Rodriguez. That's going to take place on the 12th. Next division is junior male 132-pound division. Number 1 seed is Anthony Nance Jr. The other 2 athletes in this bracket are Duran Ramson Jr. and Danelle Smalls Jr. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Anthony Nance Jr. does get a bye. Will compete on Championship Day on the 14th. The other bout is going to be against Duran Ranson Jr. and Danelle Smalls Jr. The juniors are going to be boxing against each other on the 12th. Next division is junior male 138-pound division. Number 1 seed Damon Flores. Number 2 seed Courtney Glover. The other 3 athletes competing in this division are Abu Dombia, Melvin Chandler, and Dorian Lambert. At this time, we'll go ahead and have the draw. Number 1 seed Damon Flores does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 13th. We do have a bout between Abu Dombia and Melvin Chandler. That's going to take place on the 12th. Darian Lambert gets a bye the first round, as well as number 2 seed Courtney Glover. They will compete against each other on the 13th. Next bracket is the junior male 145-pound division. Number 1 seed Kane Elizondo Jr. The other 2 athletes in this bracket are Alexander Sanchez Garcia and Virgil Warren. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Kane Elizondo Jr. does get a bye, does not compete until the 14th. We do have a bout between Virgil Warren and Alexander Sanchez Garcia. That's going to take place on the 13th. Again, for any of the coaches or boxers that are in the room, if you do have your passbook, go ahead and please bring it forward. We are taking passbooks right now. If you are a late arrival, please make sure that you do bring your passbook out to weigh-ins. We do need your passbook at weigh-ins. Just give me the paper real quick or something. Which one is it? 154. Oh, there's no name right here though.
It's right there. It's the name right there.
And this is junior male
154.
So for the junior male 154-pound division, your champion boxing unopposed is Aurelio Martinez. So for the intermediate male 65-pound, your winner of the tournament boxing unopposed is King Connor. Next bracket is going to be the intermediate male 70-pound division. Number 1 seed Antonio Johnson. Number 2 seed Joseph Rubio. Number 3 seed Kian Iqbal. The other athlete in this division is Isaac de la Cruz. At this time, we'll have the draw. All right, the first bout is between number 1 seed Antonio Johnson and Isaac de la Cruz. That will take place on the 13th. Also on the 13th, number 3 seed Kian Iqbal will be boxing against number 2 seed Joseph Rubio. Next division is the intermediate male 75-pound division. Number 1 seed is Red Legend Hudson. The other athletes competing in this division are Brandon Russo, Caden Nance, Max Wyatt Longboy, Damian Ponce, and Liam Bialecki. At this time, we'll have the draw. Red Legend does get a draw. Competing on the 10th, Brandon Russo and Max Wyatt Longboy will be competing against each other on the 10th. Also on the 10th, Damian Ponce is boxing against Liam Bialecki. Caden Nance does get a bye the first round and will be competing on the 12th. Next division is the intermediate male 80-pound division. Number 1 seed Caleb Avila. Number 2 seed Jorance Riley Mata. The other athletes in this division are Adolfo Garcia, Jesus Ochoa III, Wahid Rahim, Angelo Bella, and Julian Valdovinos. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Caleb Avila does get a bye, will not compete until the 12th. We do have a bout between Julian Valdovinos and Angelo Villa. That's going to take place on the 10th. Also on the 10th, there's a bout between Jesus Ochoa III and Wahid Rahim. The other bout also taking place on the 10th is Adolfo Garcia versus number 2 seed Warren's Riley Mata. Again, that's going to take place on the 10th. Next division is intermediate male 85-pound. All right, again, this is the intermediate male 85-pound division. Number 1 seed, Joel Puente. Number 2 seed, Aiden Martinez. The other athletes in this division are Julian Wardlow, Miles Trellis, Sabir Ben Haj Mohammed, Caden Kanahuata, and Noah Hornhack. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Joel Puente, does get a bye. Does not have to compete until the 12th. We do have a bout between Noah Hornhack and Miles Trellis. That's going to take place on the 10th. Also on the 10th, Julian Wardlow versus Caden Katohati. Also on the 10th, we do have a bout between Zabir B versus number 2 seed Aiden Martinez. Next bracket is intermediate male 90-pound division. Number 1 seed Quentin August. Number 2 seed Giovanni Reese. Number 3 seed Edward Barragon. The other 3 athletes in this division are Abel Ramos, Jaden Rabago, and Carlos Gomez. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed Quinton August does get a bye. Will compete on the 12th. We have a match on the 10th with Jaden Rabago versus Carlos Gomez. Also on the 10th, number 3 seed Edward Barragon versus Abel Ramos. Number 2 seed Giovanni Reese gets a bye the first round and will not have to compete until the 12th. Next division is the intermediate male 95-pound division. The 1 seed is Anthony Aceves. The other athletes in this division are Aaron Zarza, Dominic Fabian Hernandez Ortega, Alexander Sainz Villa, and Kevin Ramirez. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Anthony Aceves, does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 12th. Kevin Ramirez and Dominic Fabian have a bout on the 10th. Alexander Sainz as well as Aaron Zarza also have a bye first round. They do not have to compete until the 12th. They will be competing against each other. Next division is the intermediate male 101-pound division. The athletes in this division are Axel Santos, Damian Mercado, Carter Carroll, and Joshua Lopez Jr. At this time, we'll have the draw. The first bout is going to be with Axel Santos versus Damian Mercado. That's going to take place on the 12th. And Joshua Lopez Jr. will be boxing against Carter Carroll. That as well is going to take place on the 12th. Next division is intermediate male 106-pound division. The athletes competing are Christian Rollins, Manuel Reyes, and Eddie Salas. At this time, we'll have the draw. Again, this is the intermediate male 106-pound division. Getting the bye is Christian Rollins. Does not have to compete until the 14th. There is a bout between Manuel Reyes and Eddie Salas that will take place on the 13th. Next division is intermediate male, 110 pounds. Number 1 seed, Austin Sanchez. The other athletes competing are Messiah Shelton and Tayden Ho. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Austin Sanchez, does get a bye, does not have to compete until championship day on the 14th. We do have a bout between Tayden Ho and Messiah Shelton. That's going to take place on the 13th. This is the intermediate male 119-pound division. The first seed and the only seed is Azurai Moreno. The other athletes competing are Amir Dombua, Riley Morovich, Israel Villa Ballon, and Robert Rodriguez. At this time, we'll have the draw. Number 1 seed, Azurai Moreno, does get a bye, does not have to compete until the 13th. We do have a bout between Robert Rodriguez and Israel Villa Ballon. That's going to take place on the 12th. Riley Morovich gets a bye, does not have to compete until the 13th, as well as Amir Dombia gets a bye. They will be competing against each other on the 13th. That completes the draw for the 2026 USA Boxing International Open. Thank you for joining us. Also, please, quick friendly reminder, any coaches or boxers that have not turned in their book, we need your book tomorrow morning. Any boxers or coaches have not turned in their passbook, we do need them tomorrow morning at the weigh-ins. Thank you.